In today's video, we're going to talk about anchor steps. What is a West Coast swing anchor step? Why is it important? What are the different types of anchor steps you might see? And how can you improve it, whether you're a beginner or advanced dancer? My name is
Brian B.
And this is Miss Megan from West Coast Swing Online. So Miss Megan, what is the anchor step in West Coast Swing?
It is two cores moving away from each other to find elasticity and stretch.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. That is exactly the way I would define it. So it's two bodies moving away from each other to create elasticity and stretch. So bodies meaning me.
Your core.
Yep. So I'm creating that elasticity in my own body, right? It's going to be communicated through my arms in some way. It has to be through the arms in some way, creating that elasticity and stretch. So when it's done well, you'll see that instead of everything being very one-dimensional in West Coast Swing, you'll see my body moving away and Megan's body moving away, creating an elasticity before we begin to move, right? So that is what is the anchor. It's more of a position rather than a step, and we're going to get to that in the next about 2 sections away. We talk about different places, different styles of anchors you'll see. But why is it important, Miss Megan?
That's on you.
Well, you're the one who loves to talk about being
Connected.
So, if we're not connected at the end of a pattern, right, what am I going to use to tell my partner to move? So we create that away connection through the anchor step, right, that allows me to then communicate to my partner that we're moving. Which, let's get into, so that's why it's important. It's the end of the pattern where we have to work on recreating the good connection. We're going to talk about this in a couple of different ways. But the basic position of the anchor step for beginners, like different types of anchors you're going to see, is going to be my right foot is the leader, tucked behind my left foot. What that does is that ensures, and we're going to go through some basic patterns here, that ensures that my center stays away, right? If I'm allowed to put that foot forward, my center's moving forward. So if we dance 3 basic patterns, push, pass, and a whip, and we go 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to leave that foot away. So that's the most basic anchor you'll see. On a side pass, 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to put that foot behind. If we did a whip, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, we put that foot behind. So that's a good basic position. That does not in and of itself define the anchor step, because if I did maybe my sugar push, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and I put my right foot back, but I'm not creating elasticity and stretch, which I might do by having better posture, then that would not be an anchor step. You might hear it in beginner class. We would say, walk, walk, triple step, anchor step. So from the first level, I want to tuck that foot behind, but ultimately, it's that stretch away. So other places that you'll see an anchor step which get confusing to beginners would be, well, it's obvious on a sugar push, right, or push break, that foot's tucked behind. So we would think in the beginning that that's our anchor, but what if we end up 1, 2, 3, and 4? It's a different experience from this position, creating that anchor away, or from like a tuck turn, which is the same position, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now Megan has to work herself around the corner, right, as you're doing the anchor. Can you walk through that footwork for me, just off a sugar tuck?
Off of a sugar tuck,
Sure.
we have forward, forward, together, together, away, and now you're going to anchor step in a half circle, triple step away.
So it's a little bit more complicated to create that away connection. So if we just did a passing tuck, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Megan's moving that way, so I'm starting to feel her weight through my hand as she's moving away from me and working into that connection. So that's a position that we teach a lot of our students as they get a little bit better. Even in group classes when we travel, that count 4 and a 6 count pattern when it's faced away, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Not to space on this and come all the way around, but you're going at the rate that the leader sends that hand because you're monitoring that connection because you're looking to stay anchored away. So that's a second. We have the basic position. We have what I would call like the groovy anchor off of some sort of a tuck. You'll also see a double spin coming out of a whip where you're going to have to anchor really quickly. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in that case, Megan has 1 beat while rotating to try to create that elasticity and stretch. So I'm going to let you talk about it from the follower's perspective.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, pivot 5, pivot 6. Now you're Anchor step is happening on this last turn. It is a triple and back on your step.
Boom. So that's a tricky one. So how do we improve our anchor steps? Well, in beginner class, tuck that foot behind. That's the rule. That happens all the time. We teach beginners and you'll get this stuff. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. And that foot will creep ahead. So get that foot behind. That is not what you'll see all the cool kids doing. We're going to cover a couple of different variations, but you want to be able to put that foot behind every single time so that you never bleed out, and that happens all the time. You might even find some high-level dancers and you'll say, that foot isn't behind. They might end up in something to go 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and be crossed in front. But notice, we're still connected away from each other. So we've placed the foot in a position that we're aware of our centers, right? So number 2, I would say number 1 is tuck that foot behind. Then you get that. Number 2, for the followers, I would say practice those 3 different ways. The basic one first, boring, tuck the foot behind, some sort of a tuck pattern, practicing working your way around the corner, and then the double outside turn from the whip. There it is, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Being able to connect away, which starts to level up your skill. You have to be a little bit better at spinning to be able to connect right there. But then some things that we can do, so practicing our footwork. And if we use a count 4 on a 6-count pattern, here's what I want you to imagine. When we're anchored away, that's going to be a 10. That doesn't mean it's the heaviest connection ever. It means a 10 for you and your partner. So whatever the max connection is, when I'm anchored away, that's my 10. When I get to count 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I want to have about half that. Let's say about a 5 of a 10. So half of our connection on the step before the anchor. Sometimes people call this a post. And then we increase it during the anchor. So if I use this pass pattern, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I have some awareness of this, and it builds to the max. On a whip, it's going to be count 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. I have some awareness. Notice I haven't stopped Megan with a rope. It's still a bungee cord to allow her to anchor away. And now Megan's taking some liberties and doing some different things with her anchor. So the second thing, once you're tucking your foot behind, practicing the different anchor step positions that you'll see as the follower, is to start to pay attention to that connection on the step before the anchor. That's count 4 in your 6-count patterns and count 6 in your 8-count patterns. Here's where you'd find those. Easy ones like left side pass. 1, 2, 3, and connect a little bit and anchor away. Right side pass. 1, 2, 3, and connect a little bit and work yourself away. In a whip, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now it gets trickier. Some sort of a passing tuck. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There it is. 5 and 6. Sugar tuck. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 and 6. So notice it's the same way. You're monitoring a little bit of connection on that step before the anchor, which allows you to build into it. That's one. What's the double outside turn? Woo. Now you're going to need that connection to even understand that the outside turn's happening. If Megan just goes through 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I can't lead the double turn. So I need 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. She's feeling that connection right there to give her the double turn, and she's connected to my hand so she knows where to land at the end of it. Cool? Now, some other things you can do, now that we've got that, you can practice by stepping on what would be count 4 of a 6-count pattern and just working on moving your center away and allowing your arm to stretch. So that's why we argue that you have to start closer than you probably like. In beginner class, this tends to happen.
Oh yeah.
Right? At the higher level, you'll see people out here. Megan and I tend to dance out here. As you're comfortable landing in your position and knowing how much space you have, the arms may extend a little bit more, but I think in the beginning, this gives us more leeway to be able to practice stretching away till you find that position. Right? Boom. So that's one drill. The other thing you could do is practice it in closed position. We'll go this way. So I have to be very close as I'm on my left foot, Megan's on her right, so I can allow her to stretch back away. So I can put her on her foot and allow her to stretch back away. That's another one. Other thing we talk about, now I'll give you a cool drill that will help, is think about your centers moving away low, right? If Megan moves from her shoulder weight, she gets heavy fast, right? But if I move from my hip weight, I can stay on balance, right? I can take my hips really far away, without falling over, right? So I can use my hip weight, especially when I'm in closed position, you'll feel that, or something like this in a whip, right? That connection away through the hip weight, my hip weight, because if I go from up top, I pull Megan over. So you want to think about low. My favorite drill for this, Miss Megan, without a wall, you will now be a wall. So if there's a wall there, and I'm in my anchor position for the leader, I'm in my foot behind, or that's the follower, I lied, right? I'm not stretched away. So what I want to do is practice rolling my weight back until I feel the wall. Woo, barely, right? So you put a wall there, get yourself, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 inches away, and practice. You want your hips to hit slightly before, depending upon how big your bum is. In my case, my microphone's hitting first. So that's the way you can practice by yourself for your anchor step. If you want 5 cool anchor step styling options, we've got a video right here. You can download it. We did that a while back. 5 different ways you can style your anchor steps. They're really easy. They work with any pattern. You can get it free right here.